to bring you part 4. And Kebie has been asking all these questions, and we've been filtering out some of the questions you've been sending us. So I'm going to ask Kebie a couple questions today because honestly, folks, it's starting to get a little bit insane. Let me just preface that with, you know, we talk about natural health solutions all the time. We love what we do. We are bringing this information to you about hemp CBD because we're personally interested about this plant. We want to know what it can do for people just as much as we love essential oils. I mean, these plants are amazing. We talk about superfoods. We talk about how all these amazing things that God created can help your body heal itself. Do we say it'll cure anything? No. Do we say it's going to, you know, help you with this problem 100%? Nope, we don't say that either. We never make medical claims, and I've just been sharing to you some articles that I found interesting. I'm doing my own research because I'm truly interested. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a science research person other than the fact that I love to do that. So, Kebie, you've been getting some crazy questions about side effects or medical interactions with hemp CBD, and tell me, how do you respond to that when people ask you questions about that?
Okay, and you want me to speak freely?
I want you to speak freely. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not science-based. I'm not a researcher. You know, I went to college and did communications because it was fun and easy, and I love to write. I'm not math, I'm not science, but I have pretty good common sense, okay, I think. And when it comes to my health, I look at, is a plant going to hurt me, or is this drug going to help me, like a synthetic pharmaceutical, or an over-the-counter Tylenol, or over-the-counter, what is some stuff? NyQuil, okay? What is going to hurt my body worse? Okay, then I look at, okay, we've got hemp, grown from the earth. God give it to us. Okay. You probably better smoking it. I mean, let's just be real, than the Whopper with cheese that somebody ate from Burger King. Okay?
Right.
So when we're looking at interaction with meds and will this cure my whatever, that's between you and your research, where you want to look that stuff up, who you want to talk to, who you trust, your doctor. I can just speak freely about myself. My doctor wanted to put me on blood pressure medicine 10 years ago, okay? I went home, I did my research on the the PubMed, or what, I went somewhere. I think I went to Mayo. But I pulled that drug up and I was like, what in the what? When I seen that, like, I could pretty much like grow a third arm, stroke out and die over this medicine, I'm like, I'm not putting this in my body. I don't want it anywhere near me. I would rather deal with the high blood pressure.
So so that's a really good point.
Yes.
So and the reason we're talking about this, guys, is because you have to take some personal responsibility for your health.
Yes.
We cannot, and nor can your doctor, just, you know, assume and we're not saying that you know there's not a good place for an acute condition right now. But if you don't deal with the issue that Kebie's talking about here, like, so she had high blood pressure related to various conditions, I'm sure. So she went after the condition.
I was 100 pounds overweight.
So you went after the symptom, not the drug.
Okay,
right?
so I'm looking at what could be causing the high blood pressure. God did not give me a body that didn't regulate blood pressure. Are there things in our bodies that don't work? Are people born with things that don't work? Yes. But you know what? I was 100 pounds overweight. That's probably why I had the high blood pressure. So instead of popping a pill, that didn't sit with me. So I wanted to fight the problem, the root of the issue, but that's my personal responsibility. But if somebody came to me and said, hey, Kebie, would this whatever cure my disease that long? I shake my head. I would never ask that question. I would never come to you, Nicole, and say, would this drink you're telling me to drink help me with my blood pressure, when I know sitting here, the reason I have high blood pressure is because I'm 100 pounds overweight. The problem is I didn't look in the mirror. I'm looking for an excuse or a cure-all or somebody to tell me what I want to hear, this fuzzy stuff. That is why most people in America are obese. That's why there's mental problems. That's why there's all kinds of other health problems, and they keep escalating and dominoing because of all the fluff.
Well, and you have, and part of what I think we're experiencing, as Americans and people worldwide, is we have a nutrient deficient system.
Yes.
We have, a caloric explosion, and there's a lot of nutrient issues that people are having, and part of that is, we don't know what we don't know, and scientists, if they knew it and did it anyway, shame on them. As people with this information age, we have information at our fingertips, and you have to sort through what you think is best for you. Mm-hmm. So, when I go looking up, scientific articles, number one, because I enjoy it, but two, because I'm very curious. And three, I would love to see some of my own symptoms, conditions, what have you, improve. So I had taken steps, and I have taken steps over the last 6, 7, actually even longer than that, in incorporating different vitamins and better food choices and things like that. And I've seen some of my conditions abate. Does that mean it's the same all the time? No. Does that mean that, life happens and stress happens and conditions happen, or, I get injured or whatever? That doesn't mean that everything I'm doing today is going to work tomorrow.
Right.
So
and let me piggyback off that. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about essential oils, and we won't name any brands. Essential oils are great, and I use them in my home, and I can tell that we don't get sick as much. But do we get sick? Yes. There's nothing out here that's going to guard you from every germ on earth. And anybody that makes that claim or even thinks that, it's crazy in their head. I'm sorry. My kids still vomit. They still have noses, but I feel in my heart, and what I'm testing in my own home and my personal responsibility, that the essential oils help us not get sick as much, get over sickness quicker. And I like using things from plants and flowers and from the earth versus an over-the-counter that's made in a lab that has all these side effects, right? So that's my personal choice. And then what you were saying, just because something worked for me doesn't mean it'll work for someone else. Everybody's different. And another thing is, you've got to give natural products a chance. We give our prescription drugs a chance,
Oh, sure. So our doctors will say, oh, you're not going to experience, any... I don't know how many different drugs I've been prescribed over my lifetime, and they say,
oh my gosh,
you need at least 30 days, 90 days on this. You need it. You're not going to see any change in this probably for about 3 weeks, and then we'll come back, we'll do all your blood work, and we'll make sure we're not killing you or your liver, and then we'll say, oh, well, okay. So you know what I mean?
Your hair's not falling out, or your skin's not turning yellow, or you're not growing a third breast. Hello, people, really, I am speaking from my heart, and I am not trying to make people offended or shaming anyone. I've been there. I have been a toxic time bomb in my health. Just couldn't move, couldn't bend, overweight, just trying everything. I've been there, but all I can tell you is what you said, Nicole, is take personal responsibility. Look in the mirror, ask yourself, what am I eating? What am I taking? What is going in my body? Here's a little change I made this week. I started squeezing organic lemons in my water.
Yep.
It's making such a difference for me. I feel like I'm detoxing. I feel that. That's my personal responsibility to me. But that don't mean if you drink this water, it'll do it to you, right? But I like this.
That it will.
I like this better than soda. So when somebody comes to me and they ask me all these health things and if a product will help them, a couple of questions I ask is, are you drinking soda? Are you buying fast food? Are you eating processed food?
Yeah.
That's the stuff you need to be worried about. That is first. That's first in your health. What prescription drugs are you taking? What over-the-counter? I talked to a guy the other day. He is taking 7 Aleve a day. 7 pills a day. Go do your research of what that's doing. It is on the bottle.
Yeah.
It's there. So you can't sue them when you're dying. Okay. So I just think people need to really write down with a pen what is going in your body every day. and take personal responsibility and know you're worth more. Don't tell me organic costs more. It don't. Your life is worth it. It is worth it to make those small changes. And Nicole, I think you got like a little program coming that I will highly recommend to help people get going. This is my passion because it changed my life. How did I lose weight? A lot of reasons. There was no magic pill. There's no one cure thing. It's a combination of a lot of things. And did it cost me money? Yes. Did it cost me time? Yes. But you got to make a decision to look in the mirror and say, I am hungry for change. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being sick. I'm sick of being overweight. And when you make that decision, you will put your money in it and you will put your time in it and you'll do what it takes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, and part of, and I guess, we're passionate about this because we're seeing, and I'm sure that this is why there's been so many debates about hemp, CBD, and marijuana, and all kinds of natural health products. I mean, the thing is, we are so conditioned to believe that the system of pharmaceutical drugs and the medical care system that does not prevent disease, they treat disease. Okay, so we have a responsibility to prevent it. Now, am I saying that every single disease is preventable? No. I mean, Kebie talked about, we can't prevent viruses from attacking our body. We can't prevent bacteria from taking over certain things, but we can do our level best to try and, at least in my opinion, try and get some natural solutions to those kinds of problems ahead of time. Does that mean I don't struggle with certain things? No. Guys, we are not the perfect picture poster children for perfect health. No, but what we are is people who fight for natural health and we promote natural health. So that said, I think hopefully if you guys are really been paying attention to what we're talking about here, is we're just trying to educate you. We want you to have dialogue with your families and with each other about how you can maybe do something a little bit differently than you did before. So hemp as a plant and hemp CBD, we've shared so much before. Go back and check. The events are still live. You can go back and Dazed and Confused part 1, 2, and 3 and go through those events and look for the videos, the content, the things that we're putting out there, because we just want you to have some choices. We want you to make you aware that there's opportunity and choices you can make that can and hopefully help you with the conditions you're suffering with in a natural health way. So
how would we answer that, Nicole, if someone asked you, will this interact with drugs? Because that's the title of this video.
Well, two things. The two things is I would tell someone to find out what their side effects of their medication are first. So if you go to the PDR, or Physician's Desk Reference, or Prescriber's Desk Reference.net, pdr.net, and enter your prescribed medications first. You need to know what all the side effects of your medications are, contraindications are, and then do your homework and buy a really good book or 2 or 3 about the natural health remedy you're seeking. So right now we know of one, and I'll get it out.
Yes, and by the way, we will post these links in the.
Oh, I don't have it with me. I loaned it.
Oh, it's the Dr. Scott Johnson book, right? I don't have it handy, but we will post the link for everybody to order that. There's the interaction stuff in that book, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and what's really interesting is, and what I find the most value about Dr. Scott Johnson, if you're not following him on Facebook, he is not a brand guy. Everything that he posts is about his own research scientifically, and he does not talk about brands. He doesn't talk about specific products. And in fact, his book actually covers the whole cannabis family of plants, not just hemp. He actually covers all of the THC benefits and all the cannabinoids and the all of the chemical constituents of the cannabis family of plants. We've been focusing on hemp because it's legal in the United States in, I think, all but maybe 5 states, and because we believe in this plant, among other things. And I think maybe we could even start chatting about other natural plants and things that we really love. If you know us and you're following us, we talk about a Moringa oleifera tree. We talk about it all the time. Is it associated with the product that we use? Yes, but why do we focus on the plant? because it's miraculous and
Right.
it's amazing things, as does the hemp CBD or hemp cannabis. So, you know, today we were going to talk a little bit about the endocannabinoid deficiency, and I almost hesitate to even talk about it because, you know, I think people might just, you know, I don't know. So I'm just going to maybe preface this with do your own homework. Read probably 6 or 7, you know, non-scientific based articles that they discuss based on scientific articles in the Natural Institute of Health, the NIH. You can look this up, endocannabinoid system deficiency. Look it up on the NIH. You can look it up on PubMed.org. You can look it up on other scientifically based sites. There are many that are public and free. So what that is and what those articles are available is that they're peer reviewed and duplicated in multiple different studies. So they don't get published on these sites unless they've been duplicated in one place or another. They have to at least have a couple.
Yeah.
Right? So the reason I feel confident in sharing this with you is because they're discussing these in published articles. Some are done on animal research, some are done on human experience. You need to know what you're talking about. Now, again, do I care that there's not been, let's say, a certain number of studies on a particular essential oil that I care about? Nope. Because I don't do the same thing when I go eat a steak over at my favorite restaurant.
Right.
I don't go research where did the beef come from, where was it raised, what did you feed it before I put that in my body. Should I? Probably, but I don't do that. So when I find something that works for me, I'm going to tell you about it. Right. Okay, fair enough.
Right. And that goes to my point as you were talking about, look at your medications, look at the side effects, start looking around, poking your nose around. And then I would go on to say, start looking at what you're putting in your body daily. That includes over-the-counter drugs and food and beverage. Yep. What are you consuming? Start a journal. Start implementing organic as much as possible. And that's why I love our Moringa aloe vera, because at least you're putting some type of plant in your body, because we're not getting it. Look at how people eat. They hit fast food. Even if you cook at home, there's hardly any greens. There's hardly any fruits, vegetables. The stuff ain't happening. If you say it's happening, I have to come see it to believe it. Because what we do at night, we're popping in pizzas. We're going out and grabbing burgers, and that's the American lifestyle. People are fast-paced, fast food. We're overfed and very, very under malnourished. Our bodies are not getting fed. So if I can introduce Moringa aloe vera and put that in people's bodies, at least their cells are getting something and they're lighting up, right?
And the best part about hemp CBD is that it can help whatever good stuff you're putting in your body.
That enhances. Yes.
Okay, so here's the endocannabinoid system is throughout your whole body. It's a huge number of receptors. CBD1 receptors are in your brain. So you're having stress, anxiety, etc., and you're using a natural health product because your body is deficient in certain endocannabinoids, you're going to experience these challenges, right? Well, these CBD1 receptors in your brain and certain areas in your body, particularly your digestive system, guys and gals. So if you've been, let's say you're the healthy person watching this, and you have been or been eating healthy, let's say, and maybe you're still struggling with certain things. It's possible that your endocannabinoid system in your body isn't working quite right, even though you're doing all the right stuff. Okay, so I can raise my hand and say, there have been times in my life when I've done all the right things, completely cut out, medications from my life, completely cut out, fast foods, and really started incorporating some really great stuff, but I was still struggling with certain things and I couldn't figure out why. Well, now I may have an answer to that question. And I want all of you to know us well. Maybe you've, been following us for a little while, or maybe you're on our teams for our companies and things like that. Here's what I want you to know is that there may not be any one thing that's going to work. It might take a combination of things that you're going to have to invest in yourself with to make it happen. If you have a whole lot of stress in your life, I'm sorry, but medications don't change the circumstances of your life. You have to change the circumstances of your life. You need some help to do that? I can help you with that. So mean, the bottom line is, we're just trying to give you some tools and tips. You combine those things however you like, do your own homework, and I encourage you to do that. There's so much information out there available to everybody. So I'm going to cover just a couple things because we promised in our last live that we were going to talk a little bit about your endocannabinoid system deficiency. And Kebie, you can certainly, if you've experienced any of these things, raise your hand.
We'll kind of just like prelude that into the next topic because we are kind of getting out of time.
Yep.
Sure. Talk about that'll be part 5, and here's some things coming.
Sure, I could do that.
Go ahead.
Okay, so endocannabinoid deficiency is related to a lot of health conditions. I'm going to post a couple of articles in the event today that you can start doing your homework, and please ask us these questions. We're not going to answer questions anymore or give you any other suggestions other than to say, go look at your medications and how you're currently eating. We're not going to answer questions or even try to answer questions about drug interactions and all that stuff about, product information and things like that. Because you know what? We like what we do, but we're not going to, get in trouble for trying to help you.
Right.
Homework.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we needed to get this out. We needed to get, have you guys start being responsible for yourselves. And if you're just in a spot where you don't have all the answers, it's okay. Your body was designed to heal itself, but you have to give it what it needs in order to do that. The endocannabinoid system needs endocannabinoids to function properly. Your body makes them, but if it's not making enough, or it's being prevented from making enough because of the toxic conditions in your body, you have to start correcting some of those things. Plant or phytocannabinoids in hemp CBD and cannabis plants, also found in 100 other natural sources of plants and foods. Your body just doesn't have enough of what it needs, and that's why it's in a disease. Yep. Period.
Yep.
Your body is designed to function properly. So now, unless you're born without an organ or born without a particular thing, it is what it is. I'm talking about the average person out there who's experiencing some conditions. You have to figure out what went wrong. You got to figure out how to fix those conditions in your life, whether they're personal, emotional, etc., in addition to what you're putting in your body. Start there. What are your medications? Why are you taking them? How long have you been taking them? Was it 10 years ago you were diagnosed with high blood pressure and you've just been on that medication ever since and have made no dietary changes? You haven't exercised, you haven't done anything? And they keep increasing your medications? Hello?
Yeah.
So you look at those medications, like maybe there was an acute situation in your lifetime, like let's say you were acute depressed because you're going through a horrible divorce or something. Are you still on that medication and it's been 10 years since your divorce or whatever? I mean, come on. Take some personal responsibility for yourself and the medications. Start asking your doctor, why am I on this? Do I have to stay on it? Can you help me get off of it?
Yes.
Wean off of it if you can. And what can I do in my life so that I don't have to be on this stuff anymore?
Mm-hmm.
That's the best possible scenario, whether you add hemp CBD or any other superfoods in your life, is to figure out what to do so that you don't have to be on that crap anymore.
Right. And by the way, healthcare is a business. You can fire your doctor. Yep. You're not locked in and permanented with a doctor. If you don't like their style and I went to a doctor and I told her, this tea tree oil I was using, it cleared this up. I don't need your meds. She's like, no way. I said, thank you, Dr. So-and-so. I walked out and I fired her. I don't have to go there. If she don't believe in tea tree oil, I don't need her because there's doctors that do.
Yep.
There are plenty of doctors who know this stuff and they will embrace it if you embrace it.
That's right.
But they can't openly embrace it, right? But find a doctor that believes in natural. Because you can pick your doctor.
Well, and I think that doctors truly want to help people heal.
Mm-hmm.
They really get down to the roots of why they got started in the field in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing they want to do is really just prescribe medications, but here's why they do. The reason they do is because they know full well that you will do nothing to help yourself.
Right.
So they have an obligation to help you live. right? But do you live well? Do you live with quality? Or are you just dealing with one medication after another, managing symptoms because one medication is another thing?
So sad.
So,
My granny was on 25 medicines. 25.
So,
and I asked her, what is this? Why do you take this? I don't know. My doctor told me to. You let one man you're putting more control and faith in one man than Jesus. That is insane to me. You can't even tell me what this stuff is. We need to take control, personal responsibility for our health. It is not up to anyone but ourselves.
So our tip, I guess, if I'm going to close out today and we'll
I call you crack, man.
Just the holy smokes is do your level best to find out what you're doing to yourself. Number one. Two, do your level best to give your body what it needs. And if you don't know, my recommendation would be to incorporate nutrient-dense foods into your life. Plant-based as much as possible.
Yep.
Secondly, is to find out how you can wean yourself off medications, incorporating good habits that go along with that. Sitting on the couch like a potato, taking a bunch of drugs and expecting your life to get better ain't working.
Nope. Nope. And you may need to hire a coach.
You might.
I had to hire 4 to lose weight. Because what I was doing didn't help. Yeah. I had been overweight till I was 35 years old. And then when I started taking control, I had to hire 4 coaches and trainers. Because what I did for 35 years obviously didn't work. So if you're looking at yourself now, ask yourself, is it working? Is what you're doing working? Because I can guarantee you next week, you're going to get the same result unless you make change.
Yep.
And I'm a non-fluff. And I'm taking time out of my day to do this to help someone that has the ear to hear. So if you don't have the ear to hear, remove yourself, unfriend, go out of the event. You're not the person I need to be talking to, and I'm not here to offend or hurt anybody's feelings. I'm glad, Nicole, somebody said this, and I stopped listening to fluff, because that's how I changed my life. Yep. Somebody had the courage to get in my face on a Zoom and say, do you really want it? Because it looks like your actions are telling me you don't.
That's right.
You're looking a pill, you're looking a doctor, you're looking this to fix your life when you're the only thing that can fix it. So I'm thankful for the person
to fix it. Your body is designed to fix itself.
Right, but I was listening to all the garbage. I was listening, just keep taking the pills, keep eating this way, keep doing this way, and it's not going to get better. Sitting on the couch and doing nothing. You have to make change, and sometimes that requires some mentorship from somebody who will tell you and guide you, who's been there, done that, who's maybe took education and done that, right? So anyway, we're going to have that topic. We just have to land on someone that really wants to take control of their health. Because there are people out there like I was that you are hungry and you just didn't know better.
Right. Well, hopefully those people who've been following us for a while or watching this or watching our pages, ask the questions, and we'll do our best to at least direct you to the place to go, and just be responsible with your choices, guys.
Yeah, we're going to stop streaming. Thank you for your support. And tuning in next week will be super good. We're getting heated. These are hot topics, but we're glad to cover them. We're truly blessed to be a part of this. Thank you, Nicole, for your time. I'm going to stop recording.
Okay, bye.
Awesome.